So first, I just want to welcome you so much to JAM and to the new year. My name is Samantha Davidson Green. I'm executive director here and so proud to work with Cedar O'Dowd, our JAM coordinator. Aidan Kennedy, who's a volunteer, we just roped in today and jumped right on camera, is great. Laura Di Piazza, our Director of Development and Communications, and Kate Barber, our Community Engagement Coordinator. Aaron invited us to participate in this special week with our guest, Inua Ellams, who has an incredible interactive performance event for you today. I want to just do a little brief housekeeping. JAM is a nonprofit media arts organization. We operate 2 cable channels. We have an upcoming film festival, the White River Indie Film Festival in February, which we hope that you will all come back to. But we have ongoing programs throughout the week and weekends, just all throughout the year, including media education for all ages. We are very happy to help you with any sorts of creative projects that you may have in your imagination and aren't sure how to get going. We also love to discover all of your talents and welcome you to propose to lead a workshop, teach us what you know, because we are constantly learning from the community that gathers here. We have a bathroom, which if you should need it, you'll have to somehow make your way behind this curtain, straight behind that door. Otherwise, I just welcome you and I want to turn it over to Aaron.
Hi, everybody. My name is Aaron Rivkin, and I'm the manager of Impact and Community Alliance at the Hopkins Center for the Arts. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, but I'm not sick, I promise. Just had a little bit of a vocal injury, so I'm working through that, and so bear with me. So we have Inua Ellams here today, who's going to be with us all week. Tomorrow night we have an event at the Howell Library in Hanover, and so he's going to be reading from his book, The Half-God of Rainfall, and it's going to be moderated by Anais Mitchell, who is Anais Cisco, who is a visiting professor at Dartmouth in film studies and media, so it'd be great to see you at that event. And then we also have the show later this week on Friday and Saturday, Search Party. It will sell out if it hasn't already, so get your tickets if you haven't done so already. It's at 4 Courier on the Dartmouth campus, and so I'm so excited to have you here for this event. And I'm going to turn over to our guest tonight, who is an amazing playwright and performer and poet. And so I'm going to turn over to him because we don't have a lot of time, and he has lots of things to get to. Inua Ellams.
Thank you. Hello. Hi. Thank you. So usually, I'm just going to jump right into it. Usually I do this in a workshop setting with about 15 people or as an event where there are 10 invited guests and we do it before however many people are in the room. Now we're sort of in this no man's land between one and the other. So I may have to focus primarily on the first 10 who are signed up, and then the rest of you are definitely welcome to join in the conversation. And so this is not a performance. It is a conversation about names, which will give rise to a writing workshop that I hope you will all take part in. Cedar, do you know those 10 people?
We have our list.
The
If you got
list.
an email from me today, raise your hand.
Oh, so we don't have all 10.
So I guess we don't have all 10.
And Inua, you don't actually have to hold that microphone.
Okay.
Use that for others to speak. We've got
Great.
microphones. Is that correct, Cedar?
Yep.
1, 2, 3,
Would you mind
4,
being the
5,
runner
6,
for
7,
the
8, 9, 10.
mic?
Ania?
Yep, right here.
Hi. Kate Schaefer? Hi, Kate. Robin Delabo, yes. Delabo. That's a great song. Okay, we'll come to that. Sheila Moran? Sheila? Oh, hi. Hi, Sheila. Kate E? No?
I am Kate.
I think she had said no.
I said no, thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
You said no, thank you? As in to take part? I'm so confused.
Correct.
Okay, so you prefer not to take part?
I'd like to be an observer, listener,
Okay.
and
That's very
maybe
well.
later I can't keep my mouth shut.
Jacob Feeney?
That's me, but I remember saying yes.
Okay.
If I could. So on the top here?
Yes.
These are the yeses.
Okay.
So
And
how there's
then,
a yes and, so any of the yeses,
okay.
if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Vivey, sorry. Sabra? Sabra Ewing? No. Sabra isn't here. Julie Hubble? Julie isn't here. Duncan Green? Hi, Duncan. Hello. Omega? Oh my God, imagine being called Omega and you're not here. Oh, ridiculous. Robin Delabo? Oh, yes. Yeah, I said you, yeah.
Unless there's two of us.
No, there's just two of you. You know what, let's just rock, right? Let's just do so. And speak if you feel like you want to. Let's be more informal. John Keats, the British poet, said that poets are the midwives of reality, which is typical of poets to exaggerate their importance. To say we're there about to catch the things God creates. But one of the things I love about that is it hints at the truth of what it means to write poetry, which is to help tease things into being and to name them so that they suddenly become real. I really love that. Etymology as a playwright is of a huge importance to me because once I create a character, I have to name the character. In parts of West Africa, it is believed that a child grows up to embody their names. Therefore, a child's name Peace will go on to spread serenity. But other West Africans think this is bullshit. Like names are just names and they're no relevance whatsoever to the characters of the people who bear them. But I tend to tilt towards the traditional West Africans who think there's a link between that. So what I want to do is discuss names with you guys to find out what your names mean and use that to generate lots of things we might riff on and write about. And that's all we're doing for the next 2 hours, discussing names. And this is something that was taught to me by a professor of literature such as Vivey, which I sort of expanded and deepened and made more complex because Nigerians do that. My friend Kwesi, his name means born on Sunday, and Kweku means born on Wednesday. This is a tradition in Ghana to name people after the days on which they're born. In Nigeria, we just literally named people Monday or Sunday, rather than trying to translate it into a local Nigerian language. I've met a Sunday, a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Friday, but I've never met a Thursday or a Saturday, and I don't know why that is. I met someone in South Africa called Eminent Person. That was their full name. And imagine having to be addressed that way. One, the weight of importance that places an individual, also make sure to spend their whole lives an eminent person, but also to call someone that. The power dynamics that is implicit in that. And I think the hip-hop culture and industry, for instance, is full of people who have incredible monikers and names. One of my favorite rappers is Mos Def, which is short for Most Definitely. And imagine that being the name you are called, to become a fixed point of truth, of indelible fascination. Most Def. So what we're going to do now, just to begin with, is to zip around the circle and just say your name and perhaps why you're here, and just do it that way. So we'll start with you, Vivey.
My name is Vivey.
Oh, yes, you do need the microphone.
My name is Vivey, and I'm really fascinated by names. I
Can
wanted
you
to.
hear? Almost. You might have to project a little if you can.
My name is Vivey, and I'm fascinated by names, and I want it to be a Wendy, and I thought this workshop would help me with my confusion and and longings that weren't met. Okay.
Thanks, Vivey.
My name is Duncan, and my mom is the director of Jam, so I'm here, and I'm very excited.
My name is Kate, and I'm here Because I wanted to try something new.
Thanks, Kate.
I'm Sue, and I'm just sort of fascinated with the concept.
Thanks, Sue.
I'm Robin. I'm a poet, so I'm always looking for raw material, and I thought this would be a great place to get that. I also love etymology, and I also always wanted to be named Wendy. What are the odds?
What are the odds?
I'm not even kidding.
My name's Mary, and your poster caught my eye, so I read it. Visually, it looked really great. And then I sent it to Robin, who already knew about it and was signed up for it, and so I came along.
Thanks, Mary. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laura.
Mary, sorry.
Mary, you did say that.
Sorry,
Mary, yeah.
no, it's okay. Hi, Mary. My name is Laura, and my mom wanted to name me Laura Donna, but the nurse thought, nope, too long, just Laura.
My name is Jay, and I'm here just to listen.
Your name is?
Jay.
As in Guevara?
Yeah.
Or Jay.
Jay, J-A-Y.
Oh, J-A-Y. I thought you said C-H-E. Yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Hi, my name is Kate. I came because I didn't know what was going to happen, and that excited me.
Yeah. Good.
Hi, my name is Deirdre. My name has never made sense to me. I've never heard it anywhere else, and my son is visiting, and when I saw this workshop, I thought, hey, maybe now I'll come to understand and appreciate my name.
Yeah. Deirdre.
Deirdre.
Can you spell that?
D-I-E-T-R-E.
Oh, Deirdre. Wow. Thank you.
I'm Jacob, obviously her son, and every time I'm up here, I live in Florida now, we try to do something that's unique, because Florida doesn't necessarily have a lot of the opportunities that Dartmouth brings, and like this area brings in terms of, you know, interesting people, authors, and playwrights, so that's why I'm here.
Cool. Thanks, Jacob.
My name is Sheila, and I actually have loved my moniker, and when I was very young, it just felt very exotic because I was surrounded by Janes and pipsqueaks or something. I don't know. So I
Cool.
really like my name.
Good. Thanks, Sheila. Thank you.
My name's Kathleen, and I was named for a popular song that they liked back in 1939. And I'm here tonight because having spent some time, especially in Zimbabwe, where people are given amazing names, I thought this would be fun.
Okay. Kathleen. Kathleen, great. Thank you.
My name is Sophie. I'm here because I love your poetry, and also because I've spent much of the last year thinking about names.
My name is Ania. It always evokes a response from positive to negative. It has quite the story behind it, and I've always been interested in names.
Thanks, Ania.
My name is Barbara. I am named after my grandmother, and I'm here because I came here this afternoon and brought a video, and Samantha invited me. It sounded interesting.
Thank you, Barbara.
I'm Beth, and I'm here tonight partly because my friend invited me to come along, and I've always been really interested in names and naming.
Thanks, Beth.
My name is Talia. I saw this event and have always been very intrigued by names, so I was excited to join.
Thank you.
I'm Aaron, and I'm very passionate about bringing arts to the community, which is why I'm here and brought this artist to you. And I'm named after my grandfather, Arnold.
Arnold?
Arnold.
But you're Aaron.
But I'm Aaron.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to tell me the story of your name, how perhaps you came to own your name, the meaning behind your name, if you're named after, and anything you wish to share about your name. Yeah, so I'll give you a minute just to talk, just to think about that, and then we'll pass the microphone and then see. Yeah, so just a second to think about your name and any story attached to it or anything you want to share about how you came to own your name. Thanks. Okay, let's start with you. You said you were named after your father, but you have a different name.
I was named after my grandfather,
right.
Arnold. But my cousin, or my parents' cousin, was named Aaron, and they really liked that name, and they didn't want to name me Arnold because they thought that was antiquated.
Okay. So Aaron was the cool
Aaron was the
alternative.
cool, hip name in 1986.
Are you pleased with?
I'm happier with my first name than my second name, which is Sean, which
Okay.
makes no sense why they my middle name is Sean.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aaron feels like it fits. And then when I lived in the UK, they called me Aaron because they
right.
couldn't say Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I mishear Aaron, and it sounds like Aaron.
Yeah.
E-R-I-N, and that confuses me, which is why I appreciate the British pronunciation more so, yeah. The most famous Arnold is Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Are you pleased you weren't called that then, for that reason?
Maybe. I don't think I could live up to the size of Arnold.
The size of Arnold. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Aaron. Yeah. Yeah, please pass the phone, microphone to Talia.
So my name is Talia, and the extent of the story is that my parents found it in a baby name book and loved it. And that's the full story.
What does Talia mean?
It's a name in a lot of languages, I have come to discover. It's a name in Spanish, Arabic, Hebrew, and maybe others, but I've at least been told of those.
Okay. Meaning?
I'm not sure.
Is there a meaning you prefer? Or there's none you know of?
I've been told that it means dew, like the dew on grass.
Yeah. In which language? Can you remember?
Hebrew or Arabic, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talia.
I can fact check myself as we go around.
Yeah, please do. We'll come back to you. Thank you very much, Talia.
My name is Beth, which is short for Elizabeth, which my parents chose because they were looking for a sort of strong female name. So first I was going to be named Catherine, but then they realized that Kate rhymes with Nate, which is my brother's name, and they thought that was weird. So they decided Elizabeth was a good second option, and that Beth was a better and less silly shortening than Liz or Lizzie, which they did not like.
Okay.
And then I quickly learned that Beth does not work in any other languages, unlike Talia.
Okay.
It only works in English.
So there are lots of famous Beths and Elizabeths.
Definitely famous Elizabeths, not so many Beths.
Yeah. Which one did they have in mind when they named you?
Probably Elizabeth I.
Okay, the British Queen?
Yeah, I
Right.
believe so. I think they really just needed something, or liked something traditional,
Yeah.
with a good, strong role model.
Okay. Do you know what Elizabeth means?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. It means, I think, gift from God,
Okay.
I believe.
Gift from God. And do you feel like...
I would not consider myself a religious person, so.
Thank you very much, Beth. Thank you. Could you pass the, yeah. Barbara.
Yes. When I was young, I was very happy that my name was Barbara because people used to call me Barbie, like the doll,
Like
and
the
that was very
doll.
cool when I was a kid. And I remember in second grade, I think, there were 3 Barbaras in the class, and we all wanted to be called Barbie.
Okay. Did you win that battle?
I did not, actually.
So they were all called Barbies?
There was one of the Barbaras who was not me. I don't know how she did it. Maybe she came to school the day before or something, and she said she wanted to be called Barbie, and she was always Barbie. But outside of school, I was Barbie.
Okay. We need to find her and hurt her. Right.
Exactly.
Did you see the Barbie movie?
I did. No, I did.
And?
I liked it better than that, than I
Okay.
sounded like I did.
Okay. And were there any characters in it that mirrored your personality in any way? In the Barbie movie, besides Barbie, who do you think you were?
Let me think about that one.
Think about
I'll
that,
answer
yeah.
you later.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Barbie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is...
One more thing, sorry. What does Barbara mean? Do you know?
I think it means foreigner.
Foreigner?
Maybe yes. I went through a period where I was looking up everybody's name to see what they all meant, and I'm pretty sure that it means foreigner.
Foreigner, wow. That's strange. Thank
Or
you.
stranger, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Thank you.
My name is Inua. Before I tell the story of my name, your introduction hit so many notes in that I've been accused by my husband, my family, why do you always want to name things? You always want to give a name to something.
Yeah.
And then I'm a retired midwife after 30 years. So
Yes. Yeah.
very interesting.
Wow.
So the story I was told, Inua, was is the feminine form of Aeneas in mythology.
Okay.
Depending on how well versed one is in mythology, is it Roman, is it Greek? But the sort of sordid story behind it is that my maternal grandfather had an affair with a Greek woman by the name of Inua in Paris during World War I.
Wow.
Now, how he came back and named my mother, gave her the middle name of Inua, while he's still married, I have no idea. God knows. And I have had positive responses to my name, oh, that's very beautiful, to my favorite, ooh, and then if you put it with my last name, you sound like a bubble dancer.
What is your last name?
Lalong.
Oh, wow. I think it's a beautiful
bubble
name
dancer.
for
It's
it.
like do you know what a bubble dancer? Oh, now I'm showing my age. So that would be in burlesque or a striptease act. There would be bubbles, and you would sort of be covered in bubbles or balloons, and you would never expose your genitalia or your breasts, but always that hint in
With the bubbles.
with the balloons or bubbles.
Inua.
Inua Lalong, Lelong.
Oh, that's a great name. That is a great. I have so many questions. So, did your mother know about the Greek?
Oh yeah, well I was told that technically Aenea, A-N-E-A, Aeneas from the Aeneid,
Yeah.
Homer. The masculine form is I was always told A-N-N-E-A-S,
Yes.
and that to make it feminine you just drop the S.
Yes.
But if you delve a little bit deeper into the mythology, the Aeneid is A-E-N-E-I-D, I think.
E-I-D, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So God knows
Yeah.
how it all came about.
So,
But it's
but your mother knew you were named after your father's ex-girlfriend.
her middle name is Aenea.
Oh, wow.
So he comes back from World War I having an affair with a Greek woman in Paris, has this first child after returning home from war, and gets that name in there.
Wow. I don't know if he's a questionable individual or if he should be praised. I don't. Right. Thank you, Ania. Sophie.
My name is Sophie. I'm named after my great-great-grandmother, Sophie. My mother was born to her mother in New York City, and they were immigrant Jews, and my grandmother named her Sophie, and her cousins all came the next day and told her that it was too foreign and that she couldn't actually name her child that because it would be very embarrassing to the family. So my grandmother is a somewhat stubborn and kind of petty person, so she named her Sue, which my mother hated, and I think my grandmother didn't really like either, but she chose Sue for my mother because she thought it was the most American name she could possibly think of, and she was like, well, no one will accuse us of being immigrant Jews if my daughter is named Sue. So my mother was named Sue, and when she had me, her daughter, she named me Sophie, after that same person.
Do you have any middle names?
I used to. I don't anymore. My last name is Crane, which used to be my middle name. My parents gave me the middle name Crane because I was born in the Adirondacks, and the mountain behind where I was born is Crane Mountain. It's an incredibly beautiful, special mountain. It has a pond on top. Not very many mountains have a pond on top. You climb up this great big mountain, and you get to go swimming. And so I sort of grew up under the shadow of Crane Mountain, and that was my middle name. And then when I got married, my husband took the last name Crane as his last name, and I dropped it from my middle name and made it my last name. Although a surprising number of people asked me if now my name was Sophie Crane Crane, which it is not. But I was kind of horrified by how many people thought I had such a severe lack of judgment that I had chosen to name myself Sophie Crane Crane. But for the most part, it was well accepted, except for my grandmother, the one who named my mom Sue, who called me and said, "Are you sure you want to do that? That's a bird name."
What does Sophie mean?
Sophie means goddess of wisdom.
Ooh, oh yes, yeah. Goddess of wisdom. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So my name is Kathleen, and even though I think my parents had not one drop of Irish blood, the song that they liked was, "I'll take you home again, Kathleen." And so they named their firstborn that. And as you may remember, popular songs lasted a long time in those days. So it was, it stuck. It was okay. But very soon I was always called Kathy, and then I was called Sis when my siblings came along. So I didn't use the name Kathleen until 1990.
Wow.
But I thought maybe I'd finally grown up.
Yeah. What does Kathleen mean? Do you know?
Well, it's in the family of Catherine, all of those names.
Yeah.
It's just the Irish version.
Yeah.
Of the Katrina, all of those.
Yeah, Katrina.
And you asked a great question before. What do all of those names mean? And I don't know.
It's my name, so Pure.
Oh, Pure. What's your name?
Well, Catherine. Katie is
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Katie, Catherine, Katrina, Kathleen, the whole group.
So,
Pure.
If Catherine is pure, maybe Kathleen is pure-ish. Maybe. That's what I'm writing now. Thank you.
I've got all of this swirling around.
Yeah.
Let's see. The question was, what am I?
How you came to own your name,
How
or
did I own
what
my
does
name?
it mean?
Well, there's a little sad story, which thank you. Think that it's not really a bad thing, but my brother got a whole massive set of I have dementia, so to take it,
Okay.
I'll get it out. He managed to get a number of sort of sexy titles with him that he was put in his monocle and
Were they magazines?
What?
Were they magazines?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I remember he took me. We had a wonderful arbor in the summertime, and he would go under that place
To read his magazines.
to read his magazines,
Oh.
and he would invite me in to come into this place, and it was great fun. So I don't think I answered anything that you.
The question was how you came to own your name.
Well, I owned it because I liked it, and
Okay.
but the tricky thing for that is my mother had a real reason for why she wanted. There's a story there,
Yeah.
and she just decided. She went through one of those things where, and she said she liked Sheila.
She just liked Sheila.
Yeah. So,
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you.
Again, I'm Jacob. Now, there's an interesting story since my mom is also here, and I have a little more context into maybe how I was named. It's not a family name.
Okay.
It's just a name that she's loved ever since she was a child. However, she's always been very particular about my name being Jacob, and not Jake, not Jay, no other variations of that. And I think as a kid, I cared a lot about what it meant. But as I have matured and gotten older, I really can't tell you what the actual origin is, like the name, like the meaning of the name. I know there's biblical context. I know it means a lot to different cultures and different things. But I found I owned it when I lived in Brazil, because no one could say my name.
Okay.
Because the sound J and the sound B, like we speak it in English, just doesn't exist. It was Jacobi. Or, in their words, Jaco.
Okay.
And so I started using my last name more than my first name, because the pronunciation is easier. The sound I, or the E's that we say, is the sound of I in their language, so they can say Feeney without a problem. And so coming back to the States, like, was when I was like, no, my name is not Feeney. That's my last name.
Right.
It's the family. That's what means important to the family. But me as an individual, I am Jacob. And so I've really stopped caring about what like the meanings are, and really cared about what it means to me. And like the feeling is that it's something that's very self-determined, and that my name is what I'm going to make of it, not necessarily what everyone else has told or described it as in the past. However, I do pull cues, but it's more for me now.
Yeah. Oh, that's really great. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you.
So my name is Deirdre, and the story goes that I was born for 5 days without a name. My mother named my older brother, and so she told my dad that he could name me.
Wow.
And my dad was a very busy farmer, large farm. He wasn't even there when I was born, which was not uncommon. I'm 50-some years old, so that wasn't uncommon that the father wasn't present when you were born. But he was kind of distracted, and my mom kept reminding him that if, we want to bring this baby home, you've got to come up with a name. And so they finally just started playing with letters and playing with variations of names, and my mom would suggest a name, and my dad would say, no, that's not it. And so he finally said, well, what about something like Deidre or Deirdre? But he didn't like that. So he said, how about Deirdre? And my mom said, well, how do you even spell that? So they spent a lot of time working out how that was spelled. And then I finally could go home. The struggle for me has always been, I was never called Deirdre at home. I was never called Deirdre by my peers. I was never called Deirdre by my family. My older brother couldn't say Deirdre. So my nickname became Deedle. And so I was called Deedle my whole life, and I still am. I'm called Deedle in my family, and my nieces and nephews, which I hate, call me Deedle. But so I've had a really hard time. And when people did say my name, they never said it right. I'm called Deirdre, Deetra, Dieter. College was the worst. And so I've never really embraced my name.
Wow.
And so when I saw this, and I've thought about it all day long, I thought, you know, I'm hoping that I can come out of here with a better sense of my name.
Yeah.
And feel proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it because my dad is proud of it, but I've never been proud of it myself. I've always had to spell it. I've always had to pronounce it. And my maiden name is Ryle, but spelled R-I-C-H-A-E-L. So I literally spent my entire life saying, my name is Deirdre Ryle, D-I-E-T-R-E-R-I-C-H-A-E-L. And so I've just really struggled. So I'm hoping that you can help me love my name. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. Yeah, maybe. So this means your name doesn't have a meaning.
I have no idea what it means.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my middle name is Deanna, which I've never owned. So it's just, yeah, I don't know.
This is, wow.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
So my name is Kate Bailey Schaefer, and I grew up knowing absolutely nothing about my father's family, never meeting anyone in it. And when I was 20, it turned out that I had a great aunt her sister was Kate Ross Bailey. And I guess I did know a bit about her. We would get like $10 at Christmas, but I never met her.
Yeah.
And so I was at UCLA that summer, and she invited me to her apartment in Bel Air. And I went in, and she gave me all of these books that had belonged to my grandmother, and one of them was a book. My grandmother in 1903 graduated from Iowa College, which became Grinnell. And there were very few people in a class or women. And it's a book that a lot of it's in Latin. She had concentrations in poetry and theater and Latin. And she met my grandfather, who was a German professor in a Shakespeare play. And my life has been in the theater. So it was very like, ooh. And so she gave me these books, and she gave me a ring that was my grandmother's. And that's when I owned my name. Because I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
And this was a time at which my brother was Kurt Milner Schaefer, because my father named the children, the first two children, for people in his name and in his family who none of us knew. And then my mother had a third, and my mother was Irish, and that third was Patrick Joseph, don't you know?
Right, yeah. Thank you, Kate. Jay? You don't have to speak. Okay, great.
Okay. I guess I'll talk about what I think my name means. It's the Latin meaning is from laurel, victory, victorious.
Okay.
And I love the way Italian and Spanish folks say my name. It's Laura.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me feel like I want to be louder. So I really, and I have a French friend who's Laure, and that's Laura in French.
Yeah.
She says it a lot nicer than I do. And I already told you what, well, I don't know why, what my parents, so my sister Connie was named after our paternal grandmother Conchetta. My younger sister was named after a relative. I think I was named after my dad's, like, one of my dad's ex-girlfriends or something like that, or a song or something not having anything to do with our family, like, so.
Yeah. But do you like your name? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I never thought too much about it. I think, like, yeah, in this lifetime, that's what I'm called. And I respond, it was Lori when I was growing up. People everyone had an E at the end of their name in our family. So if you were Joseph, you were Joey, Mike, Mikey, Connie. Yeah, lots of E sounding names. But then as my world got bigger, went to school, and there were just more people calling me by my assigned name, Laura, and not Lori. So I just kept that.
Thank you, Laura.
Laura.
Thank you. Mary.
Mary.
Yeah.
So I was named after my grandmother, my mother's mother, Mary Bernadette, and come from a big, big Catholic family. So lots of church-going Catholic talk growing up. And so much so we'd have to say prayers when we were going to bed, get on the knees and all that stuff. And I'm not religious now at all. And but I always thought Mary, Mother Jesus, was going to come to me. And she would be my vision. I always thought, oh God, I hope she does. She's a really great woman. My grandmother was really gentle and sweet, Mary Bernadette. And so I just knew one day she was going to come. But she didn't. As I got older, she didn't come to me. But I grew up in Hanover, and Hanover used to have this Christmas mystery, if anybody knows about Hanover Christmas mystery. And in that little play, or the mystery, Mary was chosen by her peers, and Joseph was chosen. He was a man of the community anyway, and it was a mystery. No one knew who Mary was except for Mary and a couple of people. I was chosen as Mary, and I'm like, I made it. Mary is coming to me in that way somehow. And my grandmother was a really sweet, wonderful, back-scratching woman, and I really like my name because of that. But then when you say own, I really like that you say, how did you come to own your name? Kind of after that, after I became Mary.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
For an evening and two shows.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks, Mary.
Are you done?
I'm not sure.
Is he going to ask me?
Robin.
Hi, so I'm the first of 6 children, and I was named after an uncle who was named Robert, but they didn't like Roberta.
Okay.
Similar to Aaron and Arnold, I think. And when my mother was pregnant with me, this uncle was dying of a brain tumor, which is why they named me after him. And he was 24 when he died. So I spent my entire childhood, adolescence, up until 24, terrified that I was going to die at 24 of a brain tumor because I was named after him. Yeah. And I thought it was a really terrible thing that my father had done. Yeah. It was his brother. Fast forward, and I wanted to be Wendy. they didn't give us middle names. They thought we should get to pick if we wanted a second name. So I did play with Robin Wendy for a long time. But anyway, fast forward, when I was 68, I discovered that that father was not my biological father. So that uncle was not my biological uncle. And I spent all those years worrying about dying, and I wasn't even related to this guy. But I found that all out after my father and mother and my biological father had all died, so I couldn't ask them anything about it.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm okay with Robin now. I don't know. And I don't know what it means, actually. Oh, the other thing about Robin, though, when I was growing up is, of course, kids tease me mercilessly, calling me Robin Redbreast.
Okay.
So that was a drag.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
But even, Batman's sidekick, you never felt proud?
I never related to that, Robin. No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
My grandchildren do.
Yeah.
They think that I'm like Batman's sidekick, but I never related.
No.
I'm not a superhero.
No. Wow, thank you for sharing that. Talk about trauma, right?
Yeah.
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 Wow, thank you.
I feel like very vanilla, nothing strange. My name is actually Susan. My parents, apparently, it was a toss-up between Annabelle and Susan, and I'm very glad they chose Susan. I would not want to be an Annabelle somehow. I've always been called Sue, but I answer to either one. As growing up, I think I was the only Susan in my circle of friends and relatives. But in later years, I find that I can't go anywhere without there being another Susan, Sue, Suzanne, Susanna in the crowd. There's always one. But I don't see anybody here, do I?
You were almost.
My sister.
Yeah. Yeah. But not Susan, yeah. What does Sue or Susan
It means
mean?
lily.
Lily.
Yeah, I didn't know that until fairly recently, but
Yeah.
I like the concept.
Yeah. Thank you.
I was
Okay.
named Catherine
Okay.
after my maternal grandmother. And you better spell it correctly, or my mother will jump out of the grave and give you a big lecture about it.
Okay.
It's Kathar.
Ah. Katharine.
Yeah.
Wow.
As we say, like Katharine Hepburn.
All right. Okay.
I have a mixture of both pride and shame about the name. I had the idea that I was special because I was named after my mother's mother. My mother was the youngest of 4 girls, and her older sister, with whom she had a very competitive relationship, had a daughter named Sue. And somehow I got the idea that my mother had stolen this name from her older sister, but Sue was born 6 months before me, so she could have been, anyway.
Yeah.
So it's tinged with that.
Right.
And when I was young, I was called Katie, and I was only Katie in school.
Wow.
At that time, so it's a popular name now. And when I was 13, I had my first kiss. And I came home and declared that my name was now Kate.
Right.
And one of my 3 brothers said to me, "You can't be called Kate. It sounds like a fisherman's wife." And they're in their 80s and they still want to infantilize me.
Right. Thanks, Kate.
My name is Duncan, and both of my parents are here, so I might get, I don't know, they can correct me. So growing up, I always thought, well, kids imposed on me that I was named after Dunkin' Donuts, which I hope isn't true. I never really talked about it. It is spelled differently, thankfully. But actually, I really don't like donuts. I still don't. And it was sort of I don't know if traumatic's the right word, but I definitely did not like being associated with the donuts. My mom and my grandfather, so that part of my family is very Scottish, and both of them have always told me that it's a kingly name. But then I, started reading Shakespeare in high school and stuff, and came to appreciate who King Duncan was. And if your theory about, life developing because of your name is the truth, then I don't know that I want my name to be associated with that guy. But yeah, so I hope that's mostly right. Yeah.
What does Duncan mean? Do you know?
I like the kingly idea.
The kingly
that's
idea.
cool. Hopefully a different king, but
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. And Vivi.
My name is a portmanteau. I'm named after both my paternal and maternal grandparents. So my maternal grandmother is Vici, my paternal grandmother is Viora, and so I'm Vivi. My middle name is Elayer, which is Elayer. Yes, I'm not going to spell it. And no one knew it until Dartmouth College decided to put my middle name up on their website. My mother's name was Elaine, and both my names fall very solidly into African American naming patterns, and many African Americans name by sound, and they pick a sound or they spell it uniquely. And so if there's no meaning, but I assign a meaning to it whenever I hear a name that is unique, and that's the meaning, unique or special, because that's the aim of Black naming, that you have something utterly your own unto yourself, and that is your name. So I recognize about 4 different African American naming patterns, but mine falls solidly inside of it. So Vivi Elayer.
Okay. What do you think, what meaning then do you attach to Vivi?
Well, my mother wanted me to have a unique name, so again, unique, and, well, maybe this will help. My brother's name is George. I'm a poet, which caused my parents a lot of angst. I didn't go to law school. So I became a poet. And I remember telling my father one day, if you name your son George, you get a solid businessman. He's solid and wealthy and doing well in America. You name a daughter Vivi, you get somebody idiosyncratic who decides she's a poet.
Right.
So.
Makes sense. Thank goodness, right? When I hear Vivi, I hear vibrant. I hear vivacious. Yeah. Vibrating.
Vivisection.
Oh no, I wasn't going there. Thank you, Vivi. My name Inua means several things in other languages. In my father's language, it means who I'm named after. Inua means under, like the shade under a tree specifically, where men used to gather to get haircuts and gossip. So specifically, that's what it means in my father's language. In another Nigerian language, it means mouth. In Kiswahili, it means to lift up, to elevate. It means something in Japanese culture. There are lots of restaurants called Inua, spelled the exact same way. But my favorite meaning is among the Inuits. Inua is the spirit of Alaska. It is a deity that is worshipped. There is an Inuit folk band called Inua, spelled the exact same way. My twin sister's name is Mary, a riff on that. When I found out that I was named after an Alaskan deity, I told her she had to worship me. Beautiful. and she slapped me. But I've always been fascinated by names because of all of that. The next thing we're going to do in the same order is this. I want you to think of an object from what you've just shared about the meaning of your name. An object, something in the real world that you can touch. So for instance, I'm going to pick an iceberg, something from Alaska, and that's my object. So consider an object, make a note of it, perhaps you want to write it down, and then we'll zip around the circle and I'll ask you to share it with us.
An object that you feel your name represents?
Yes. Yeah. Or that is a conglomerate, iconic of what you feel, or something attached to what you've just said. Yeah. Either of those interpretations. Especially, because what are you going to pick? Right? Yeah. Okay.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Mountain.
Mountain. Okay, no, you have to explain that. Right.
My Hebrew name is Huna, and my mom, it has no meaning at all.
At all?
None at all.
Okay.
But my mom said that it had something to do with a mountain and an eagle flying over the mountain. So when I don't know, that just popped in my head, mountain.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Mountain. I'll take that. Thank you.
My word is flower. I did fact check myself as we were going around, and it means dew in Hebrew and blooming in Greek. I didn't know that about Greek. So flower feels like it combines the two.
Do you have a specific flower in mind if you were to pick one?
Maybe a daisy.
A daisy.
A daisy.
Cool. Daisy. Thank you very much, Talia.
This is a very specific object. The thing that comes to mind is a portrait of Elizabeth I by a Tudor artist that's in the National Portrait Gallery in London.
Okay.
And that is partly because my mother wrote her thesis on Tudor history, which is probably where my name actually comes from, now that I'm thinking about it.
Right. Okay, so portrait of
It's
Elizabeth
a very
I.
specific portrait, yes,
Okay,
of Elizabeth
cool.
I.
Thank you very much.
Since I believe Barbara means foreign or stranger, I would say a map.
A map. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Probably the symbol for a heart, since Aeneas, or the Aeneid, son of Aphrodite, or son of Venus, depending on your mythology.
So, symbol of a heart, not an actual building.
No, just the heart.
Just the heart, okay.
Like I said before, my second name is a mountain, Crane Mountain, and the way that Crane Mountain got its name, there are two options. One is that it was named after herons that people thought were cranes, but they were actually great blue herons. The other reason is that the surveyor for that part of the Adirondacks was named something Crane, and he just named the mountain after himself. But we'll go with the first one because it's better, and so great blue heron.
A great blue herring, okay.
I got in late, but I'm going to go anyways. So I was supposed to be named Harley. I was born in the late 60s.
Okay.
Until my parents, who weren't really 60s people, realized with horror that that was the name of a motorcycle. And so they changed it to Jordan, which has a bunch of meanings, obviously. But if I had to think of something, it would be a basketball.
Okay, a basketball, great. Did you play basketball growing up?
No, just partially because my son is here, that's fine.
Right, okay. Okay. Thank you, Jordan.
I guess going along with I'll Take You Home, Kathleen, the first thing that comes to mind as an object is a winding path in the woods.
A winding path in the woods?
In the woods.
Okay.
A winding path.
Wow. Thank you.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was a big horse person. But I didn't, as I went through my, in my 70s, I don't feel that
Okay.
very much. So I just feel that I've been comfortable in my skin and my who I am.
And you're?
Who I am.
Yes.
I feel I've found my work had a lot. I had a lot of people who sort of depended on me.
Yeah.
Not in my work, and I really felt that how good it was to be able to be in positions that would make other people, not just the family, but the other people.
If you had to pick an object that was symbolic of your name, Sheila, is there an object that would come to mind?
A rock.
A rock?
A rock.
Okay, a rock. Thank you.
For others, you're a rock for others.
Well,
Thank you.
This is actually quite difficult.
Right.
But I think if I had to choose, I would pick a mountain pine. And it's very specific because they're not the prettiest of trees. They're often quite beat up and bent over due to the wind. But they organize a lot of the life around them. And without them, most of the other smaller plants and wildlife that lives on the top of a mountain wouldn't be able to survive.
Okay.
Yeah, grit.
So
A mountain pine.
a mountain pine, so they're usually smaller, a
Yeah.
little bit more mangled, a little beat
Okay.
up, but
Cool.
still there. And
Thank
hanging
you.
out.
Yeah, this is hard for me too. So the
Yeah.
first thing that came to my mind, I don't know that this really describes my name, but it's where I feel most comfortable, which is in nature.
Right.
But then when you clarified an object, the very first thing that came to my mind was a cube,
Okay.
but it makes no sense to me.
Like what? Like a Rubik's Cube?
Like just a block, a cube, a clear cube.
No symbols on it, nothing.
No,
Wow.
I don't know.
It sounds like it could be anything, which then works, right, with your name. That could mean anything, yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay.
An antique book of poetry.
Okay, lovely.
A crown made of flowers.
Sorry?
A crown made of
A
flowers.
crown made of flowers, yeah.
A big, old, worn-out, solid, strong pillar.
Strong
Pillar.
pillar, right, yeah.
A nest.
A nest. All right, okay, good.
Because Susan means a lily, I guess I'd go with a lily.
A lily, okay, nice. Thank you.
An otter.
An otter. Okay, yeah.
Because they
okay.
look like they're enjoying themselves all the time.
Okay, great. An otter named Kate. Somehow like that, yeah.
I don't know if this is cheating, but I always like to think that my mom's father's family, so that, like I said, they're all like Scottish clan warrior people from Scotland, 1,000 years ago. And I like to imagine like my name means like a sort of William Wallace-esque fighter warrior guy with a big axe. So we'll try, yeah.
So
I
a
like
big axe.
thinking I'm descended of them, even though I'm probably not. But it's kind of like a Scottish warrior guy. I don't know. It's a person, I guess. But yeah.
So what? He is your object, William Wallace or an axe?
I suppose just the character,
Okay.
the idea. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his ghost?
Sure, a symbol of it, whatever you want it
Right,
to.
okay.
Yeah.
A symbol of William Wallace. Let's say tartan kilt.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
Bagpipes or something.
Okay, bagpipes. Let's go with that. Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Ivy?
Thistle,
A thistle.
like thistle bushes, thistle.
Thistle. Okay.
You know, the spiky little.
Yeah. Could you explain why?
When I look at thistles, they often make V's,
Yes,
and
they do.
I'm prickly.
Oh, that's perfect. Mine is an iceberg. Okay. So I want you to imagine there is an empty snow globe in front of us, in this, just hovering above this carpet here. It's round, it's gaseous, it has primordial essence within it, the stuff that we're all made of, that the universe is. And into this, we are throwing these objects you've created, you've plucked. So we have a mountain, Daisy, a portrait of Queen Elizabeth, a map. I was gonna ask if it's a map to Barbie Land. No, okay, just a map. A love heart, a blue herring, right? Yeah. A basketball, a park, a path in the woods, you said, which is very terrifying. A path in the woods, a rock, a mountain pine, a cube, a strong pillar. Is that correct? No, sir. An antique poetry book, a flower made of crowns or crown made of flowers, a strong pillar, a nest, correct, a lily, bagpipes, a thistle, and an iceberg. And these things are now floating. And oh, did I miss the otter? Yeah, an otter called Kate, enjoying itself, yeah. And what we're gonna do now is try and arrange these in some shape or form. So currently they're all floating in non-specific places, and I'm gonna attempt to sketch this out. And I apologize in advance of my drawing. But yeah, let's start with you. Where would you place your mountain?
Just out in the...
Yeah, it's just so everything is floating around and we're gonna put it inside the orb now. Okay.
So where does it fit in the orb?
Yeah, it's the first thing, so.
Probably just right on the bottom.
Just right on the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, so a mountain. How many peaks in the mountain? Just one?
Just one.
Just one, okay. Snow on the top?
No snow.
No, okay, just a rocky mountain. Okay, great. Mountain is there. Daisy.
We'll
Talia.
put the daisy at the base of the mountain.
At the base of the mountain? Okay. I'm gonna...
Maybe a few of them.
Okay, great, yeah. Daisies, got it. Thank you. Queen Elizabeth.
I did have a roommate who once called me that.
Okay.
We did not get along. I need a wall, I think.
You need a wall? There isn't a wall.
Can I put it on the cube?
You can't put it on the cube? So we just keep it floating
We'll
until
keep it floating until we get to
cube?
the cube.
Okay, so it's, how big is the cube? I didn't,
Well, how big is the portrait?
It's quite large.
it's quite large. So it has to be a big cube.
It's a miniature. I thought, cube.
We can lean it against the mountain.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the base,
Yeah, it needs some ground.
okay. So I'll put it little, yeah, there's the queen. Okay. I don't know if you can't see this, don't worry. Yeah, she's there. The map.
I would put it leaning on the rock, so if you needed to know where you were going, you could find it.
Oh yeah, because there is a rock. So I assume the rock, just to jump to the rock, is the rock just on the mountain somewhere? Or do you want it floating above the mountain, Sheila?
I'm just awash with possibilities.
Just the rock?
Rock, and I'm probably, I haven't thought about this or but surely someplace outside.
Okay. So definitely outside.
For this point, yes.
Okay, okay. Maybe, so you want the map to rest on the rock?
I think it should be resting on something.
On
so
something.
that people could find it if they need it.
Okay. So we just have a mountain, the daisies, and you have to choose, you have to work from what's here now.
Okay. At the,
It can also,
I'm
it can
deba-
also defy gravity. It doesn't have to
okay, so it'll just be floating around.
floating around.
Amongst
Okay.
those things.
Okay. Is it rolled up or is it spread out?
No, it's spread out.
It's spread out. Okay. I'm gonna have the map there, sort of spread out. Okay. Thank you. Map is there. Yeah, we have.
If you would allow me, I'm going to put my heart in your cube, and you can figure out where to put the cube. But it's sort of it elicits sci-fi. I don't know why.
Okay. Right. There's a lot of things contingent on this cube right now. Okay.
I don't need the pressure.
Okay. So the heart is in the cube. Yeah.
I think the heron can just be flying by the side of the mountain.
Okay. 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 Just a lone heron.
A lone heron.
Okay. Great. Okay. Got it. Thank you. The basketball.
It's either spinning on the crest of the summit,
Okay.
or it's being thrown over the summit. I don't know
Okay. Have you seen there was this Nike advert for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He plays for you know about this, right? Yeah, he plays for the Bucks and he's Greek.
Yep.
And they put a basketball hoop on top of a Greek mountain because of that. So your ball would be at home on the
That sounds
mountains
good.
in Greek.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it's a really epic advert, yeah.
My path is going to be around the bottom of one of those mountains.
Yeah.
No high altitude, please.
No high altitudes. Okay. I'm gonna draw up the path. It's kind of leaking. Okay, great. Thank you.
He asked you about your rock.
About my rock. I'm very fond of it.
Good.
I actually am very fond of rocks
Okay.
and spend a lot of my life out in our garden. And I'm very close to the cycle of the months.
Mm-hmm.
And I love all of them.
Where would you like to place your rock? In relation to the mountain, which is at the base. There's a portrait close to
Terribly
it.
hard one to choose. I would say sitting on the ground, just
Sitting on the crown?
ground.
On the ground. Gotcha. Okay, great. I'll put it close to the daisies then. Yeah? Okay. So there's a large rock beside the daisies. Thank you.
Thank you. The pine, I feel it should be not quite at the top of the mountain, but slightly off to one side.
Okay.
And maybe show a root or two.
Okay. Pine, got it.
I would like the cube under the tree, on the ground.
As in buried under the tree.
No, just resting under the
Just
tree.
resting, okay.
Maybe in the, the root,
Yeah.
the exposed root.
Okay, okay. And then there's a heart inside the cube. Okay. Thank you.
I think the antique book of poetry is hidden on the path.
Okay. I really like that, yeah.
I think I would like the crown made of flowers to be on a living thing.
Okay.
So, no, there were two things, a bird and otter.
Yeah, there's a heron and an otter.
Heron, yeah. I don't know. I guess
You have
think
to
an
choose
otter.
You have to-
Yeah,
okay, on
yeah.
the otter?
Why not? Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So tell
If
us
it'll stay
what
on.
the otter is, yeah.
It's a challenge.
Okay.
The pillar to be placed down in the mountain
Down.
but it comes out really close to the peak of the mountain.
Oh,
That's
so it's a very tall pillar.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. 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 Pillar. Got it. Thank you. The nest.
Yeah, I mean, there are the obvious places, but I don't like the obvious. I think I want the nest on top of the cube. You're getting a lot of mileage out of that cube.
Yeah, we are. Okay. Nest on top of the cube. I guess the heron has a place to live, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like the lily to be placed with the other flowers.
Okay.
To make a field of
Oh,
flowers.
beautiful. So we have the daisies and the lilies beside each other. Got it.
The otter is feeling kind of dry,
Okay.
and so it's going to play as if the whole universe is water and playing with the blue heron. So
Okay.
tracing and playing with the blue heron.
Okay. The heron is in. Okay. So I guess it's just chasing its shadow because it's. I assume it's flying.
Well, so the otter needs some watery place to be, so.
We can find it together.
Yeah. So they're friends. The heron and the otter are
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, did you say heron as the bird, not heron as in the fish?
Right.
Right. Okay. Great. Okay. I got confused there. Thank you. And the bagpipes.
I think, well, if there's a portrait of Queen Elizabeth in this picture, in this bubble, I don't think the Scots in that day would like the idea of Elizabeth having bagpipes or having to be anywhere near her. So, wherever the portrait is, far away from there.
Far away from that. Okay. I'm gonna. That's great. I'm gonna put it on the other side of the mountain.
Perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Protected.
Okay. Cool.
Thistle
Yes.
is 3/4 the way up the mountain.
Okay. 3/4 of the way up the mountain. Okay. Okay. Thistle. Thank you. And I have an iceberg, and I'll pull it in the far distance, right? So there, iceberg. And because I'm terrified of climate change, it's not melting. It's really solid. Great. Okay. Now, and just to recap, we have a mountain right at the bottom, huge. We have daisies at the bottom of the mountain. Then we have a portrait of Queen Elizabeth resting close to the daisies, but on the ground. And then we have a map flying in the sky, perhaps the map of all of this. We have a heart, which is inside the cube, so we come into that. We have a heron flying, sort of circling the mountain. We have a basketball on top. Perhaps it's been thrown, it hasn't landed yet, so maybe the heron is gonna fly towards the basketball. I don't know yet. We have, wait, hold on. Yes, the path at the base of the mountain. We have a rock close to the base of the mountain as well. We have the pine sort of in this side of the mountain, 3/4 way up. We have the cube with the heart inside. Yeah, and which is at the base of the pine tree. We have the, what was your what? Yes, the antique, which is on the path, definitely. We have a crown of flowers, which is on the otter, which is befriended the heron. We have the pillar rising up through the mountain, close to the basketball. Maybe there's a hoop that they bring together. I don't know. We have a nest resting on the cube. We have the lilies close to the daisies. We have the otter chasing the heron with your crown on it. We have the bagpipes on the opposite side of the mountain. And finally, we have the thistles close to, 3/4 of the way up. And finally, the iceberg in the back. Now, what I want you guys to ask are questions about these objects, but unite 2 or 3 objects in the question. So for instance, you could ask, could the petals of the flowers be mashed into ink with which to write new poems in the book? For instance. So it's merging some of the objects together in order to create a question, okay? So I'm gonna run down the objects again and just have that in mind when creating your questions. Mountain, daisy, portrait of Queen Elizabeth, a map, a love heart inside a cube, a blue heron flying, a basketball, a path towards the woods, a rock, at the base of the mountain, a mountain pine, a cube with a heart inside, an antique book on the path, a flower made of a laurel wreath, or a crown made of flowers, which is on the otter chasing the heron, a strong pillar rising through, a nest on the cube, a lily beside the daisies, the otter who I've mentioned, bagpipes on the opposite side of the mountain, thistles 3/4 way up, and the iceberg in the distance. So, come up with questions, be imaginative, be playful with your questions, and then we're gonna answer. We're gonna spend 15 minutes trying to answer these questions, so you just pick one. But before that, just think of a question. Thank you. Yeah.
Mary needs to have a reminder what we're doing.
Okay.
What's the question?
So, you are asking questions about the objects.
The daisies.
Oh, but you're merging 2 objects in the question. Yeah. So another example could be, when the otter catches up with the heron, are they going to make babies?
Okay.
What kind of babies is a heron otter? I don't know. Yeah. So you merge 2 or 3 objects in a question which you pose to the room. Okay, I'll start. Is the bagpipe made of otter skin? And what song would it sing? That's mine. Okay. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Could the flowers be used to make another crown? And would that crown be for the heron, or could it be for the basketball?
Okay. Got it.
Pass it, or?
Yes, pass it, please.
My question is, if the otter finds the antique book of poetry along the path, will it stop to read the poetry?
The otter, you said?
The otter.
Yeah.
Give you a chance to write that down.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, got it.
I was wondering if when the pine tree grows taller, whether it will cast too much of a shadow on the daisies and the lilies.
Okay.
I was wondering,
Yeah.
okay, I just wanted to make sure you were ready. I
Thank
was
you.
wondering if the heron and the otter could use the map to find a place where there's more water,
Where there's more water.
where there's more water.
Right. Got it.
Starting from the heart, could they ask the crown of flowers to be Secretary of State or Ambassador to encourage peace and harmony with Queen Elizabeth and the bagpipes?
Could the heart ask,
The crown of flowers
yeah,
to be
encourage peace?
encourage peace amongst.
But
I know the iceberg isn't melting due to climate change, but might the iceberg be melting just enough and in a regenerative way to sustain the watershed of the mountain at large?
hold on 1 second. I'm still trying to put that. Could the heart encourage peace between the bagpipes and the queen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, shoot. Yes.
Again.
Yes, please, I
okay.
missed it.
You had specified earlier, I think, that the iceberg is not melting due to
Yes,
climate change. Yeah. Okay.
yes.
If the iceberg is not melting due to climate change, might there be another mechanism by which it is melting, but in a regenerative way, just enough to sustain the watershed for the mountain and the living things
You're gonna have to
in the
shorten
mountain
that question.
ecosystem? Can the iceberg provide the watershed for the mountain?
Great.
But we really liked your background.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, got it.
I wondered if the queen could emerge from her portrait, what she might write on the hidden antique book.
Could
What
you
she
be
might
louder?
write on the antique book, in the
Okay,
antique
so if
book.
the queen comes to life,
Comes
what
to
would she
life.
write on the book?
Yeah.
Got it.
As I picture the cube and all the other objects that it attracted, I'm wondering if it is bulging or sagging.
Right. Is the cube bulging or sagging?
It attracted many, many objects.
Wow. Thank you.
Strong as the cube.
Do you want to do one?
Yeah, it does not compute. So I have as the center of it, this, and I don't know what the this is.
Thistle?
I do not know what the this is. But why is this to be? Why not? Why now?
Why is this to be? Why not? Why now?
Why is this unknown to be? Two, why not? or why now?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Did the thistles begin growing along the path before the mountain? And are they included in the crown of flowers?
Okay. Got it.
How interesting that we both chose the thistle. Father or daughter or, oh my gosh. Whoa, let me start again. Let me start again.
We're going to need a lot more time to unpack this one.
Mother, son, sorry. I had a moment. Okay. So my question is the thistle threatening to those walking the path or to the bird and the otter? Does it choke out the lilies and daisies trying to grow? Or is it a friendly thistle?
Wow.
Soft, welcoming.
Okay, those are 3 questions there.
Sorry, but it was all kind of the same thought.
Yeah. Is the thistle threatening to those walking the path?
Yep.
And you mentioned the heron?
Yep, to the bird and the
Okay.
otter. Does it choke out the lilies and the daisies?
Yeah.
Or is it a friendly thistle?
Thank you. Got it. Thank you.
Will the heron discover the crown of flowers and gift it to the branches of the pine?
Will the heron discover the crown of flowers and gift it?
To the branches of the pine.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
My question was actually already asked by Barbara. so-
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot were asked, or thoughts. When all the questions are answered, do the bagpipes play?
Great, Mary. Wow.
That was lovely. Thank you. Yeah.
If the iceberg melts, will the nest sprout wings to save its heart?
Ooh.
Say that again. If the iceberg melts, will the nest sprout wings to save its heart?
Will the nest sprout wings to save its heart? Thank you.
If the otter, excuse me, if the otter and the heron have a foot race on the path around the mountain, who will win?
If the rock shatters the cube and all of the contents get released, will they find the map?
If the rock shatters the cube and all the contents are released, but there's just a heart inside.
Well, the heart, but there's the crown is on
There's a
top.
crown on top here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the nest's on, but wasn't the crown in there?
No, it's just the nest. There's a heart.
The nest. So will they be able to find the map to help them reorient themselves?
Okay, yeah, got it.
I think somebody said something about a basketball hoop being attached to the pillar at the top of the mountain, and I think you said something about the heron flying to either avoid or maybe the heron threw the basketball. So now this is following the race. I have some sort of a basketball game going on between the heron and the otter, and my question would be, how do the rules of basketball change when one of the competitors can fly?
And there's no water to swim.
Right. Yeah, it seems unfair. But.
Excellent.
Yeah, got it.
Could the heron make a nest of thistle and lily on the mountain?
Make a nest of thistle and lilies on the mountain. Okay, great. Thank you. So currently we have 20 minutes left. And what I want you to do now is to pick one of these questions and attempt to answer it, either as a short poem or a prose piece or a meditation, whatever. Just 10 minutes trying to answer, making up an answer for this question. You can be as playful, as imaginative, as nonsensical as you want. There is no judgment here whatsoever. So I'm going to read you the questions, at least try and read my handwriting, and hope it's clear. So these are the questions. You just have to pick one, then try and write the answer. Is the bagpipe made of otter skin? What song would it sing? 1. Could the flower make a crown for the heron and the basketball? Could the flower make a crown for the heron or the basketball? Will the otter read the book of poetry if it finds it? Will the pine trees overshadow the daisies and lilies? Could the heron and the otter use the map to find water? Could the heart encourage peace between the bagpipes and the queen? Can the iceberg provide water for the mountain? If the queen comes to life, what would she write on the book, in the book? Is the cube bulging or sagging? Why is this to be? Why not? Why now? Are there thistles in the crown of flowers? Is the thistle dangerous to those walking the path? The heron, the otter, the daisies, and the lily? I think that was your question. Yeah. Will the heron discover the crown and gift it to the pine trees, to the pine tree branches? Will the heron discover the crown and gift it to the pine tree branches? Will the... I'm sorry. What's this question? No. Mary, this was your question. Something about the bagpipes.
Oh, if all the questions are answered.
Yes. If all the questions are answered, will the bagpipes play? If the iceberg melts, will the mountain sprout wings? Will the nest sprout wings to save its heart? Yeah. If the otter and the heron race around the mountain, who will win? If the rock shatters the cube and scatters the objects, will the map help? How do the rules of basketball change when a competitor can fly? And can the heron make a nest of thistle and lilies on the mountain? Those are the questions. Please pluck one and try and write an answer. You have 10 minutes to do so, and then after that, whoever would like to read or share the answer, please raise a hand.
I have dementia. I have
Dementia.
hear all of those again.
You have to hear all of these again. Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, great. Thank you. You have about a minute left. Okay. That's it. Time. So, who will read? Who is up for sharing? Great. Thanks, Robin and Kate. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. Microphone, please. Thank you.
If all the questions are answered, will the bagpipes sing? If bagpipes don't sing, funerals will end, but dying won't. We need a different music for tears to flood gray grief, then bring back to the mountain the sound of joy, which is wind, which is water, which is infant laughter, which is sound itself.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Anyone else? Kate, please.
Can I say something? You please. Or just because it's in around?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll just
What
say
was your question?
Sitting here with
No,
you.
what was the question?
What?
What's the question you chose to answer?
If the bagpipes played
Right, okay.
with the questions answered, I said, sitting with you all tonight made my heart sing, and yes, the bagpipes played. I'm not a writer.
Thank you.
All right. If the queen comes to life, what would she write in the book of poetry?
Right.
How misunderstood I've been based on my portrait. I dream of great blue herons and otters frolicking at the water's edge. I yearn to climb a mountain wearing a crown of flowers, following the sounds of a bagpipe, to be lost on a path, and to discover an image of my heart, which is trapped inside the transparent walls of the castle. My heart is an iceberg longing to melt into a daisy. Where is the map that will free me?
Well, thank you. Thanks, Kate.
I answered the question about will the iceberg release water, and I just assumed it would. And so I attempted a haiku.
Okay.
Release some water, saving most. Life springs forth continuously, always thankful, iceberg, for the generous gift of life given.
Right. Thank you. Jacob?
Yeah, I actually answered my own question. Are the thistles included in the crown of flowers?
Are the thistles?
Included in the crown of flowers.
Right.
Crown of thistles, of flowers, of thorns, adoring the heights, not the valleys, Plucked from the mountain alley, crown of thistles by an otter worn.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you.
Will the toad tickle the frog on the water? Will the tickle frog the water? Will the frog sprout wings and sing?
Thank you.
I used the question, will a heron build a nest of thistles?
Yeah, will the heron build a nest of thistles?
Heron? Yeah, a heron. Okay. In a high tree, a heron builds a nest of thistles. There are abundant hardships to choose from, but she lines the nest with feathers from her breast. The nestlings arrive in a world of encouragement.
The nestlings arrive in a world of...
Mine is horribly embarrassing and terribly written, but I seem to have written the beginning of an extremely depressing dystopian fiction about past climate change, but we're past it. I'm not sure anyone wants to hear this.
No, I definitely do, yes.
God, all right.
Okay.
It's pretty bad. You see, in those days, the only water left was so precious that it stayed in one form forever. The liquid was liquid, the water was water, and the gas was gas. In school, they'd stopped teaching conversions. No one knew about warm days when flowers wilted and young people laid out in blankets, sunbathing, a little bit of skin touching brilliantly. No one knew about the days when it got so cold that the inside of your nose froze in on itself. No one even knew about sweating, or about taking a shower so warm it steamed up the glass door, because that was a change of state. Everything these days was medium, everything was stationary, and if it stayed exactly like that forever, everything was safe. Still, there was wind, and every once in a great while, that wind felt almost wet, like it was remembering that once, long, long ago, it had been rain, that it had fallen on hot pavement, making dark spots, sizzling some where it landed, drying quickly. That it had fallen in great deluges, so heavy and so fast that you had to pull your car off the road or under a bridge for a minute, hazards on. That before it had been rain, it had been ocean, great, deep, salty ocean. You see, these days, there were no more oceans.
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You have to finish that, even if it's just a short story. See where it goes. Yeah.
Whether or not the questions are answered, the bagpipes will play. They will play because we hope they will. Without hope, we have nothing.
Thank you.
I answered the question, if the heron discovers the crown, will it gift it to the pine tree branches?
Okay.
So this is kind of maybe a children's story in opposition to your dystopian story. So it goes, the heron is flying through the woods and sees a flower fall. It's confused, but a little while later, it sees another one fall. It's then that it arrives to some water from the iceberg, and it sees its reflection. It doesn't want the flower crown to continue to fall apart, so it gifts it to the pine tree branches. The end.
Wow, nice. Thank you. I like that. Yes, Aaron.
So I did the rock scattering the contents of the cube. The cube shards scatter as it is struck by the rock. A nest plops on the heart. They wonder who will help. As they gaze at the bright blue sky, a map with purpose floats by and is pinned to the lone, haunched pine on the side of a mountain. The wind sounds of wind's brushes past. The breeze relentlessly hums.
It's really nice. Thank you. I answered the question about when all the questions are answered, will the bagpipes play? I hope this is legible. And when we ask, when we plead, when we inquire of the desires of the heart, when we take on the quest and begin searching, as my nephew is knuckled down right now over his homework, imagining a dance of numbers and his pen as if a torchlight searching the abyss of algebra, letters multiplying to numbers and back, lines splitting into broken curves, the transparent geometry of thought. What if he's lost inside himself, a soul tangled in search of certainty, noosed in strung out equations, trying to settle on an answer? I will applaud when he does, my palms making melody and air and song. That's it. Trying to. Vivy? No?
Yeah, I'm not going to follow that up.
Duncan spoke for me.
Sue, Kate?
How about you, Kate?
I don't remember which question we answered.
Okay.
Protected by a lone pine while longing for water from a distant, unreachable source, either by air or sea. Unable to decide without a map, I take the path to an ancient book of poetry.
Thank you. Sue?
Mine is sort of general.
Okay.
The questions we ask are fun and delightful, but they offer us answers so inconsequential.
That is a perfect summation of the evening. Thank you so much, Sue. And that brings us to the end of Anonyms. This is just something I like to do with strangers when I meet them. I gather them around my kitchen table and say, let's talk about names and see where it goes. And it's been really delightful meeting you guys. And if this is indicative of my week here in Dartmouth, and I'm really looking forward to meeting more of you. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you come to the events we have outlined. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.